Hey folks, Doff Andale here, and it's time for the 2024 vinyl tag. And this year, I'm actually going to do it when it's supposed to be done. I think last year I did it, it was like end of February. Yeah, but I'm on it this year. Let's do it. And thanks to Rob Walker for putting the questions together. They look good. First question. Favorite record you purchased in 2023? That's a tricky question right off the bat. There's a number of records that might fit that bill for various reasons. If you watched my contest entry for Two from the Trunk, that might be one of them. But for this video, I decided to go with something different. I'm going to go with Stryper, The Covering. And going with this one because, one, I love this album. I love hearing Stryper cover other bands' songs. They did an excellent job. It's just a great album. Girder did a great job putting it together. Vinyl looks great. Last record purchased in 2023. I also have just put these up in a video, but I'll show them again. The last two I got were at The Great Escape. Got Disciple, self-titled, and Disciple, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And I picked them up. Very cheap. They're both limited run vinyl records. By limited run, I mean that's the imprint. Great albums. Love Disciple. Great band. And that's what I bought. The next question is band or singer with two or more records in the same year. I would imagine these will probably get shown a time or two. Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards, and Uriah Heep, The Magician's Birthday. I pulled these because I just found out last night that Uriah Heep and Saxon are coming to the Mercury Ballroom this spring, and I'm excited about it, even though some people say, hey, there's hardly any original members in Uriah Heep. I just discovered them, and I'll go see them. Besides, am I more interested in seeing Saxon? Maybe. But I want to hear this stuff played too. So, there you have it. Uriah Heep. Two albums from the same year. So the next question is, if you could only listen to music from one decade, what decade would that be? I'll have to go with the 1980s. I was a teenager in the 1980s, so I was probably in tune with the pop music of that time more than any other decade. Heavy metal was just getting started. There are a lot of great Maiden and Metallica albums to be had. Christian metal was just getting started, so that gives me Stryper, To Hell with the Devil, Soldiers Under Command, Bloodgood. A lot of great Christian metal albums coming up, and then of course you've got, like I was talking about, the rock and pop of the day. Rick Springfield, Hall & Oates, great R&B artists like James Ingram. The next question is, show a record by a band or singer from Manchester. And wow, I had to go to Google for that. And this is what I came up with. One, Simply Red. Kind of dig that soul That soul sound of Simply Red, Holding Back the Years, what a big song that was. So, yeah, Simply Red is one. But also, how about some Paul Young? Got my attention. He covered a Hall & Oates song on here, Every Time You Go Away. This was a big song, or a big album for him, and got me to pick up this, Paul Young, Between Two Fires. Love both of these albums. So, Paul Young, Simply Red, from Manchester. Which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? And I'm going to answer this the same way I did last year. Because there's no way for me to really know exactly. I mean, I can make a guess. But one thing that is measured is what I listen to as I'm going to and from work. And that would be on my YouTube premium account. And so I get a year-end graphic. And of course, for the second year running now, Russ Taff is my most listened to artist. I'll put that graphic up here. And you can kind of see what I was listening to as I was going to and coming from work. Now, it's not 100% accurate because I listen to a lot of things here that I wouldn't listen to on the trip back and forth, but that gives you a little bit of an idea. If I did have to venture a guess, what I've listened to the most here, just reaching for it, it might have been this album. This new Samantha Fish, Jesse Dayton, Death Wish Blues. Fantastic album. Yeah. The next question says, show 7 7-inch records. This was a gift from Value Vinyl Steve and Mrs. Value Vinyl. Man, I miss them. I hope they'll start doing some more videos sometime soon. But love the Blues Brothers. They knew that. And this is Soul Man. Yeah. Killer. Song is Mickey Clark, Cardinal Cannonball. Is that a playoff Wabash Cannonball? I need to give it a spin. But anyway, Mickey Clark was country artist here in Louisville. He knew my mom. He would play Buckheads in the same shopping center where my mom was a cashier at Rite Aid. And he'd go over there and I guess he'd pick something up and he and mom would talk. And so she let me know about him. And I thought, at the time, well, who's Mickey Clark? Then I went to YouTube, looked up Mickey Clark. He's singing with John Prine. Yeah, the guy's a real deal. Unfortunately, my mom passed in 2017, and I think he passed either later in 2017 or in 2018. So unfortunately, they're both gone. Let's keep it moving. Hall & Oates, Big Bam Boom. Oh, well, this is Out of Touch from that album. Love some Hall & Oates. Next album's cool. Mylon LeFevre and Broken Heart. My Heart Belongs to Him. Great song. This is kind of cool. It's on red vinyl. I'll be talking more about Mylon in just a few minutes. Mr. Kyrie. Another great song from my high school days. I love this one. Rick Springfield. Love Somebody. And then finally, Van Halen, Love Walks In. So there's 7/7 for you. The next question is, who's coming to your party? And he asked for four musicians, past or present. All mine are present. I think I misread the question when I first saw it, but that's okay. Who's coming to my party? Well, we all know my favorite musician is Russ Taff. I think he's the greatest singer on the planet. So we're bringing Russ, and I've been fortunate enough to go to Russ and Tori Taff Bell Buckle weekend. How many times have I been? 5? And so, I mean, Russ actually recognizes me when I walk into the room, which is cool. And last year, if you watch my vinyl tag from last year, he gave me a very special gift last time. That was so cool. I'd also hope for some plus ones. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I want some plus ones because his lovely wife, Tori, has been so kind to me over the years. And I'd want her to be there as well. But yeah, so even though, Russ recognizes me and but we've never hung out. And I would like to have the opportunity to talk to him, to ask him some questions about his career. And I think he'd have some great stories about his career. I know he does because I've heard a few of them. I want to hear some more. And second guest is going to be Phil Keaggy. So I've already got who I consider to be the greatest vocalist on the planet. Let's go ahead and bring in the greatest guitarist. And this guy, he's one of the nicest guys out there as well. He gave me this record. So, yeah, he's just a phenomenal talent. It just when you think, you hear guitarists all the time, but when Phil plays, man, it's just unreal. So we gotta have Phil. So that's Russ Taff, Phil Keaggy. We're also going to bring in Rick Kua. And Rick has played with Phil on several of his albums, played bass. He's a bass player. I've met Rick once when I was younger, much younger. I wrote to him once, asked him to play a song at a festival. Yeah, I know. Like he can take requests like that. But you know what? I met him. He remembered my letter. And he didn't make me feel like an idiot for making the request. He told me, it's a festival. We had a short set and I couldn't work it in. But, and I thought, how kind of him not to make me feel like an idiot for an absurd request like that anyway. So, but Rick's such a good guy and been in the business for so long. I'd like to hear his stories. And finally, Glenn Kaiser from Resurrection Band. And I'm going to pull out this cover because you need to see him. There he is, right here. Glenn and his lovely wife, Wendy. I've had the pleasure of talking to them both. They played a concert at a local church one winter evening. And I remember going in and Wendy was sitting at the back merchandise table, and we struck up a conversation and talked for a long time. And then I, watched the concert. And after the concert, I went and walked up to Glenn, and he doesn't quite. His hairstyle's changed a little bit since then. But anyway, I walked up to Glenn, and Glenn looked at me and smiled in such a way as I'm walking up to him. I'm in my head, I'm thinking, have we met? Because he's looking at me like I'm an old lost friend that he's so glad to see. And I was a little taken aback, but so I know my group is probably a little older and a little less wild than most groups, but I just think these four gentlemen would have such great stories, and I would just really enjoy an evening with these gentlemen. The next one is We Lost Them, and this is a musician that we lost in 2023, and the big one for me, Mylon LeFevre. This is one of the early albums when he was with the Singing LeFevres, Southern Gospel family group. This is Mylon right here. Mylon wrote the hymn Without Him. And that album, or that song, was then recorded by Elvis Presley and a whole bunch of other people and made him a lot of money. And he did have a period where his life kind of went off the rails, and then he came back and rededicated his life to God and started Mylon LeFevre and Broken Heart. I saw him quite a few times on this tour. Just a phenomenal singer and songwriter. He had these smoky vocals that just were distinctive, and just he really was a great singer and songwriter. But and I've already told you about Without Him and how much money that made him, because it was a huge hymn. But all of his songs across his albums are just so brilliant. The next question is, if you could listen to music from what country, which would it be? And that's a no-brainer for me. It's the U.S. Russ Taff, Phil Keaggy, Johnny Cash, John Coltrane, Eva Cassidy, Tamla Mann, Kiss. So many. The Eagles. So many that I need to have those artists in my playlist. I can't do those first couple. I can't do without. So yeah, the U.S. The next question is 3 vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. And that's difficult because I don't know exactly when I discover channels. I just hit subscribe, and sometimes I connect and keep watching. But here are 3 channels that I feel like I watched a lot in 2023. And the first one is Brendan Snyder. He's a little different as far as the content compared to a lot of what I've seen in the VC. But I especially enjoy the videos he does with Anthony when they do new releases at the record store. I think they have great chemistry. It's just a fun watch. Um, Also, the flip side with JC, he's just got a down to earth vibe to him, and I appreciate that. And then Garage Geek, been watching a lot of his channel lately, and so those would be the three channels that kind of jumped out at me in 2023. Show a record that you bought when you were a teenager. Eagles, The Long Run. Such great songs on this. Heartache Tonight. What a great song. Show a funk or soul record. And since I show a lot of contemporary Christian music, thought I'd show some Christian soul. This is John Gibson. Just heard John's getting ready to start working on a new album. I'm so glad. This guy's so good. He and he's well recognized in music circles. He has played. I think he did a party for Prince once, and he is a big Stevie Wonder fan. You can kind of hear that influence in his music. And he's had Stevie Wonder. I think Stevie Wonder played on one of his albums. He did a cover of Have a Talk with God. And Stevie played harmonica on that cut. On this one, there's a cover of Yamo Be There, the James Ingram, Michael McDonald hit. And a song called The Wall. And that song featured, at the time, an unknown MC Hammer. And yeah, but he's just phenomenal artist, and I can't wait to hear his new album. The next question says, show a record that everyone has. I don't know if everyone has it, but if you are into hard rock, heavy metal, you've had this album, right? I think a lot of us, especially around my age, probably saw this record and had their mind blown. What a great album cover. One of the greatest album covers of all time. Glad to have this one. This is a recent repress on orange vinyl, but great album. I can remember the old copy I had. I can remember my parents, I think we were in a Sears and they bought it for me. But, yeah. And now an album that no one has. And I'm going to go with this. And I picked this up. Russ Taff is on it. He and his wife, Tori, and his guitarist, James Holohan, wrote this song, We Will Stand. So even though this is featuring, you can tell it's featuring Andre Crouch, the title they went with was from Russ's song. So anyway, Russ did, this is a 2-record set. Russ got 3 songs on this album, including We Will Stand. So this particular album was pressed in, I believe, Norway. It's one of the Scandinavian countries on a label called Leon. So I never knew this existed till I saw it. And I actually eventually got around to buying another copy and sent it to Russ. He had never seen it before. That's how rare this album is. So I don't think anyone has this record. She's Great. Record by a female artist you bought in 2023. Well, she is great. You've already seen her once, but I'm going to show her again. This is Samantha Fish, Wild Heart. Now, this album was not put out in 2023, but they just I guess it was this year that they decided to reissue it on vinyl because it popped up. I didn't know it was out until I saw it on Amazon, and I know it couldn't have been out very long because I do fairly regular search on her stuff. One of my favorite current artists. So, yeah, Samantha Fish. If you don't know, blues rocker, but her music encompasses much more than that. And it's not really shown on this album cover, but man, she can shred on a guitar. She will rock it out. And yeah, so if you haven't checked out Samantha Fish, you need to. Favorite video on my channel in 2023, and that's kind of hard, but a couple of videos popped in my mind. I really enjoyed the video that Amanda did for my channel a couple videos back. It was funny. I laughed my butt off at that. And then I did the record store day video I did in the spring for Better Days Records. I really enjoyed that video. But I think my favorite was the vinyl tag video I did late last year. I didn't get around to it till the end of February, but I think that video really, I just like the flow of the questions and where we went to with it. It's yeah, I think it said a lot about me as a record collector. Hopefully this one will too. So now, favorite video from another channel. I really don't have an answer. This is one time I'm going to have to plead that I don't have an answer. Because I just can't think of one singular video that sticks out. I mean, there are videos that I enjoy all the time, and channels that when they put out their videos, I'm there. And guys like Blackmore Rules, man, like I've said before, I can almost smell or taste Canada when he's doing a video. B-sides, great channel, and pick a 90s classic. Love Megadeth and love this album. Is there a better thrash song than Holy Wars? Come on. Yeah. So we're going to go with Megadeth for classic 90s album. If you could walk into a cover, the first album that popped into mind was this huge behemoth of an album. This is Eva Cassidy, Nightbird. How many? 4 records. And I thought, man, I'd like to walk into this because I'd love to walk in and listen to her sing. Eva Cassidy is just so brilliant. Her voice so pure and so versatile. And maybe put her as made her maybe the best cover artist ever. Just listen to her sing Sting's Fields of Gold and tell me that's not her song now. She was so good. But who got to see her? She passed away from cancer in the mid-90s, and it wouldn't be until after she passed away that a UK radio station would make her famous. And so I thought that would be one cover I'd like to walk into. But then I thought, there are other concerts I'd like to walk into. How could I do that? Well, maybe I found a cheat code. There we go. If I can walk into that album cover, I can walk into all these concerts. Nothing like a a time traveling DeLorean to get around into your concerts either. Just need that flux capacitor. It's like a greatest hits album. You're just so familiar with it, and that might be this one, D&K, DeGarmo and Key. Yeah, this is a fantastic album. Probably my favorite DeGarmo and Key album. They were rocking so hard on this. I saw them on this tour several times. And, yeah, Dana Key, the late Dana Key was such a great guitarist. And he and Eddie DeGarmo just, together, they were just brilliant. The Last Question, an album from 1974, and I'm going with Paul Clark. This is Coming to His Presence. It's chapter 3 of Songs from a Savior, or Songs for a Savior, I should say. Paul Clark, great songwriter, and on this album, like many of his albums, his guitarist is Phil Keaggy. Yeah, so I went with that for 1974. Great record. That just about does it. And I appreciate everyone that has come in. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten over the years. If you're new, I hope you come back. I hope that I get it. I'm probably one of the slowest growing channels, and part of that is because I'm so all over the place. I'm showing heavy metal 1 minute, and then I'm showing gospel the next, and I'm probably an acquired taste, but I hope some folks give me a chance. I show some good stuff every once in a while, and we just got over 500 subs. It's been a good year, and thank you for coming in, and come back. Hope you're having a great week. We'll see you soon. Until then, peace.